A few weeks ago, we went back to Indiana for my dad's 80th birthday party. Besides the usual fun of trying to wrangle a decent group shot, my way more popular contribution was showing them how to make a picture so much more interesting by putting your finger in front of the lens. I'll show you how to do this later. On the way back from Indiana, we stopped in Missouri to meet up with Michael. Some of y'all may remember him from a previous video where he came down to Texas. We took him out to Hidden Falls, and his brother promptly tried to break his step sliders. I think Brady does that because he can't keep himself out of trouble. I'll tell you what though, anybody that says he doesn't wheel the shit out of his 392 is crazy. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, Michael, who was kind enough to lead us on the 2 badge trails at Southern Missouri Off-Road Ranch. After a quick check-in, we aired down and went to Pee Wee's Crossing. This trail can be narrow and it winds back and forth across a creek. Since it had been pretty dry here lately, there wasn't too much water or mud. There also isn't anything very technical until you get to this ledge. While we were stopped to look at it, a group of Jeeps caught up to us, so we got a chance to see how it was done. Michael had some expert guidance the first time he came out here that went something like this. If you go to the right, you'll probably hit your fender. If you drop down on the other side, your bumper can get torn off. Easy. Much respect for those Missouri rock humpers, but I actually like my fender and bumper exactly how they are, so I'll wuss out and take the bypass, thank you very much. In my defense, there is something I didn't mention earlier. Halfway to Indiana, I started hearing a rattling sound when the engine was idling. I took the front part of my belly pan off in a parking lot trying to find the source, and it looked like the exhaust was rubbing on the inside. So yeah, that was in the back of the Jeep instead of underneath, protecting the oil pan and transmission. Just past the ledge, Michael stopped to let me know he had a flat tire. Sort of a reminder that even though the trail may be easy, there's always a chance that something can happen. So he pulled forwards to where it was somewhat level and used his onboard compressor to air it back up. Here's a tip. If you replace your factory scissor jack, make sure you can still use it to replace a completely flat tire. Because if you're sitting on the rim, the axle is going to be several inches lower than normal, and some jacks won't fit. We couldn't hear a leak after airing it up though, so we didn't swap in the spare, we just continued on. Somewhere along the way, we found the turnoff for Bronco Buster. We have a Bronco Buster in Texas too, down at Hidden Falls, but I think this one is a little more challenging than our local one. After Michael slid into the camera, he asked if he broke it and if he needs to buy me a new one. That's funny. It's perfectly fine, but thank you. If I'm dumb enough to have you drive over my camera, then it's on me if it gets squished.
bumper guy.
She probably doesn't need this much spotting, but we've already established that she's very careful with her Jeep and gets wild and crazy with mine. So you know, I felt obligated to supervise.
Straight towards me.
Keep your passenger tire high on that thing there. Towards me now.
Okay.
A little more, driver.
Run over you. Aw, turtle.
This ledge wasn't quite as high as the
Hold
one
that
on
there
Pee
for a little
Wee's,
bit and
but
then
you're going
straighten out.
up this one so you don't get the gravity assist. It's also got a few rocks stacked on the
Straighten
passenger
out.
side, probably because it's undercut over there, but of course our four-door
think
minivans
that's it.
still try to get hung up on it.
Want me to throw one more rock in there?
Can we give one bump to see? Or do you think I won't?
You might make it. I'm gonna put one under for us though.
I think Michael learned this maneuver from his brother. When in doubt, throttle out. I'm not sure why we hit the bottom so hard here. I thought it was the same line Michael took, and I actually did stick another rock on the passenger side. Must be the driver.
You gotta keep going with it.
Okay. Okay, here goes. Nothing.
Okay, everybody saw that, right? She was totally trying to collect some life insurance money.
Are you sure you want me to, if anything breaks on this thing, I'm gonna be like
Well,
feeling really bad, dude.
it's not your fault if it does.
Well, I probably should let you drive so that, because I know how I would be if we were in upgrade. I would be freaking out like, we are not taking upgrade down this trail. She does not want to scratch.
Okay, if I remember right, this is actually the notch. This is what convinced me I did not want to own a Gladiator. It takes a little bit to get around this.
Okay.
There you go.
If you could have seen what I saw, it was
I think it might have touched. I don't think.
I think you're right.
Did it rip anything off?
No. Not that I can
I just figured it may have scratched it a little bit. But at that point, it was,
It was sliding into it.
yeah, it was go forward, go backwards, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be touching it.
How do I always end up driving?
Once we made it to the top of Bronco Buster, we stopped under a tree for a water and sandwich break. Michael also reported that his tire was not holding air, so we took the opportunity to change that out. From there, we did guardrail. It starts out with a somewhat steep descent. At the bottom, it becomes a more tame version of Pee Wee's until you get to an optional climb. I didn't like the looks of that either, so I talked Michael out of it, and then we left the park. Okay, so everybody that's stuck around till the end must really want to know how to do this, 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 or this. Fluffy Cat has kindly agreed to help me demonstrate. Take your nose-picking finger and bend it at the middle joint, trying to keep the other joint straight. Position it in front of the camera. Not that I would ever do this on purpose, but if you really want to piss off your sister-in-law, add your ring finger in while you're taking a picture of one of her kids. I am so sorry, Emily. I suffer from poor judgment. Fortunately, though, Fluffy doesn't mind one bit.